I want to talk about my experience a little bit because it's kind of a good example. Like, even if you need to go through some difficult experiences, that you'll be given what you need to make it through. God never gives you anything that you can't handle, and you're going to learn things and you'll grow along the way. Up until I was about 8 or 9, my home life was like really cozy. I had a beautiful home back 2 miles down a dirt road in Alaska. Just super clean air. There's wildlife. It was just a really beautiful place to live. It wasn't a log cabin, but it was had wooden siding, green roof, very pretty, big yard, and I just love to be outside. Like, sometimes I just feel very connected. I remember this even when I was like very young, like maybe 4 years old. The wind blowing through the trees and just listening to that and sitting outside and just feeling the energy. And I've kind of been connecting to Earth, Mother Earth, my whole life in that kind of way, just like strongly feeling the presence. Even now, when I'll tear up if I start thinking about the trees and stuff in Alaska, because it's just like such a strong connection to the Earth. So my dad, he was always away a lot, and just to preface, like, I love both my parents. I don't hold anything against them. But my dad was away like 6 months out of the year at least. Like, he worked a job where he had to stay at the job for a long time, then he'd come back and be off the rest of the year. My mother was a lab technician at the hospital, so there's like a decent amount of income in the household. And eventually, they had some marriage issues. They tried to work it out, so we moved to a different town. Kind of, it didn't work out, so they ended up separating eventually. Drug issues became a thing. Not so much for my father, but my mother. So it reached a point where it's like we're living in a dinky trailer, and just sometimes I just would like we living on hot dogs, and like just like things started to get more destitute than I thought was really necessary. Because there was still like a good amount of cash flow. Like, I knew there was at least $100,000 a year just from one of my parents, and probably more. But it was just like we were living in conditions that didn't reflect that in any way. I just remember always thinking, like, it doesn't need to be like this. Like, no matter what is happening, if you can just choose love and understanding, and things don't need to be as difficult as they could be. I remember sitting in my parents' basement in my room, and I remember there's just a lot of difficulty going on, like parents arguing, and just the vibe wasn't very good. And like, in spending most of my life and having that imprint of like living on a very nice property in a beautiful area where the vibe was always amazing. I just remember thinking, like, why is it like this? I don't understand why it's like this. Because personally, if I was in the situation, even if it's time to separate from somebody and things are difficult, it's like there's always a baseline amount of love to have, and as just respect for anybody else. It's like, it doesn't matter like what you're doing. It's like, I still respect you and love you as somebody who exists. And it's like that wasn't being honored, and things are more hard than they needed to be, and it didn't make sense to me. I saw no reason why things needed to be that like that. And that kind of continued as a trend through my life as I got older. Things just being very chaotic and much more difficult than I ever thought it needed to be. I never saw any reason why I couldn't have a peaceful and beautiful existence. Like, I wanted to see what was on my inside reflected on the outside. And I did. I mean, all the chaos and stuff that was around me, like, that must have been a part of me for it to be part of my reality. But there's also just this deep understanding and love that I'm an infinite being, and like, we're all God, and there's no reason to disrespect others. I wanted to see this deep spiritual understanding that I've always kind of had reflected in my surroundings. So anyway, we were living more destitute than we really needed to be. I started smoking a lot of weed. A lot of weed. And I took on all these kind of survival mechanisms because like it just but in my moments of clarity I had this deep understanding that I saw no reason why I couldn't live that beautiful life that I had. And even more, I saw no reason why that couldn't be a part of my reality again. And so all the difficult things, like some serious heartbreaks and just this really odd situation that, to me, and a higher understanding, there's no reason why it needed to be that way, but everybody is moving through things and they're where they're at. And it's just when that's your parents who are moving through certain things in their own way, you're kind of pulled into that, and that's part of your deal too. Even if it seems like you shouldn't have to, but you chose to. You chose your parents. And you've more than likely been doing the dance with your parents through lifetimes for thousands of years, so not just this life. So anyway, just odd conditions. I saw no reason why my life needed to be that way. So I just never gave up. I decided whatever I need to do to put an end to these things, to make it end, to move into the life that I want to have, whatever it takes, whatever I need to do. And I kind of always understood I could get in my head about it, and I could really pursue like a conventional path and like, you know, go to college and like get a good job and do whatever that way. That none of that felt right. That was not my path. None of that felt correct. So I moved off, and whatever felt right, even if I didn't understand, even if it didn't make any sense to me or anybody, just whatever felt the most correct is what I did. And it was a very slow process. It took a very long time for things to start to reveal themselves to me and to really understand where I was going with this. Like, I always understood it was going to be spiritual to some degree, but the spiritual things didn't really start to escalate until 4 or so years ago. And then I really started to understand what my path was. And then I just wanted to start doing it. I was like, okay, if I'm going to be a spiritual person and I'm going to transmit that to other people so they can understand and try and help them through their process, I want to start doing it right now. What's taking so long? I just wanted to be done with dealing with all the difficult situations, but it takes time. I think there's just so much of it that it couldn't happen all at once, or else I just would have not wanted to exist. And I felt like that anyway. Several times, but I literally never give up. I would never give up. Because I still absolutely see no reason why I can't have a beautiful existence, and why that beautiful existence can't be for everybody. I've always just absolutely no reason why we can't be done with all of the difficult things. And that's not to say I want to run and hide from difficulty. No, I want to finish with the difficulty. I want to put it to bed. I want to be done with it. So even if one of your parents is a drug addict, nothing you do is working, you're heartbroken, you don't want to be alive, keep moving through it. You'll be given what you need. You'll be given enough rest. You'll be given enough rest and respite to make it to the next one. And eventually it's over.